Hello, everyone. Today we are talking about the Champions League football. We are going to be predicting the Premier League top four, who is going to secure Champions League football next season. And on this episode, we have Richard, we have Erons, and we have Obaz. So, starting off first, we are going to be speaking with Erons. So, Erons, tell us, who do you think is going to finish in the top four in the EPL this season?
Okay, my picks in no particular order right now would be Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, and Newcastle. Right? Yeah. Why I feel so currently, just looking at the current form, we're already in the the second half of the season. So just looking at the current form of the teams and looking at injuries, taking injuries into account, also taking the signings right into the signings that have been made in the January transfer window so far, just squad depth and all of that. Um, for Man City, we know that right now Man City looks a bit like off all over the place, not really having things together. But with the signings that Pep has made this January transfer window, they are about signing also Cambiaso a right back to strengthen the position if in case Walker leaves the team soon enough, right? So Man City is set to come back. We know Man City, they can just do like 10 games unbeaten run and just pick up points from literally everyone. So we know that Man City can still meet up, and I believe Pep is still going to do that. But winning the title, I'm not sure, but I think Pep is going to make top four. Then Liverpool is the massive form. I don't see them dropping off the form which they are currently. Also with the squad depth, like we spoke about last time. Konate is back. Van Dijk is still looking fit. I think Liverpool is still going to keep shape. And then for Newcastle, Newcastle have been amazing this season. Like it's the way they play, it's so convincing that this guys mean business, right? It doesn't look like Newcastle that, oh, after some time, that they will drop points or they will lose to their mates and maybe struggle with or beat bigger teams but lose to people that are on their level. Look, Newcastle look a lot like they are really in for business this time, and I think Newcastle is going to sneak in to top four. And then for Arsenal, I would say look very unserious regarding winning the title, but I don't think Arteta is going to slip out of top four in any way. I think Arsenal are going to make it to top four comfortably well. So that's my pick: Liverpool, Arsenal, Newcastle, and Manchester City.
Well, yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. But before I will talk about your picks, let's hear from Richard. Richard, your top four picks coming of the season. Let's hear it.
Okay, I'll go in a particular order for my own. First of all, I think Liverpool will be champions. Going back, they have done this before. They've been here in this position, and then they have the experienced players for it. And also, this might be Mo Salah's last season at Liverpool, Arnold and Van Dijk, and these guys are big players, so they'll be looking to push them over the line. So, in second position, I'll go with Man City. The reason why we go to Man City is that over the years now, we know they always have a strong second, um, what do you call it? They have the second part of the season, they always finish strong. And that's the thing. They always do. And looking at the additions that they have had, I think they've sort of solved some problems that they were having in defense and then also in attack. So I would give them that vote that they are going to finish second ahead of Arsenal. And then in third position, Arsenal, they are going to come third. They will struggle along the line, but I think Arteta is going to secure top four football for Arsenal. Then in fourth position, um I'll go with my heart and then I'll say Chelsea. I want to be optimistic about my football club, so I'll go with Chelsea. Um, Not judging by any form or anything, but it's just pure faith. This is just pure faith here. Uh, and also, I think probably injuries might work on Newcastle a bit because if they lose Isak, I think that's going to be a problem for them. 'Cause I don't think they have any replacement for Isak. And then the style of football they play, they might not be able to sustain it over the course of the season. Yeah, they might drop in form or they'll just get hit by a fitness issue or stuff like that. So that's why I'm going for Chelsea ahead of Newcastle. Also fit.
So somehow Chelsea sneaked into Richard's top four picks. So it's basically a case of 99% fit, 1% work. and he's a Chelsea fan, so he's open. Now let's hear from Obaze. Obaze, let's hear you. Your top four picks.
Oh, there's no way I'm going to use fate to sneak in my club, Manchester United. There's no way that I'm going to make top four, so that's completely out of it. so, anyway, thanks OP for this opportunity. Well, my top four picks, I would say I still bank on Liverpool being champions of EPL because they've been here before. And like Richard said, they have some really big players in the team that would like for them to win the league. And personally, I think I saw the news where Salah came out and said amongst the players that they would prefer to win the league as opposed to winning the Champions League, and that's huge coming from Musala. At second position, I would also say Man City because they are starting to find solutions on the pitch for issues that they've had like throughout the season, and they are scoring goals. And they signed like a couple of players during the window. They're the only big team that has shown any sign of seriousness during this transfer window, aside like making efforts to strengthen their team. And they are buying for now. They're not buying for summer. So that's something I'm looking at. So I think Man City are going to finish strong like they always do, and maybe make the second spot. And third, I'll put Arsenal at third because regardless of how they've been playing, they've struggled and they've not really been at their best, the best that we know that they can be at. But they've still found ways to pick up points. They've found ways to win games and they've found solutions on the pitch for issues that they have. Even without Saka, they've also been able to pick up points, which is very huge for the team. So I would say I see them finishing third place. Then fourth place, I'm not so sure because the barrier for entry top four is very low right now, and like the teams around that region keep dropping points. So I feel like that number four spot is really up for grabs. So it's going to be, for my own perspective, I think it's going to be between Forest because they've been so good this season. Forest, Newcastle, and Arsenal and Chelsea. Rather, I feel like anybody could end up winning that spot. So it depends on how well they are able to do in the course of the season that's left. So that's so number one, Liverpool, number two, City, number three, Arsenal, number four, anybody could be there by the end of the season.
Yeah, sure. That's good. From what we can see, I think we are the three of you are already in a consensus about who are going to finish in the top three: Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool. Now, well, for me, I believe Arsenal are definitely going to be in the top four. There's no there's no doubt about it. Top four is like it's like a normal thing. It's not even something that Arsenal fans should be celebrating anymore. Because come on, they are better than that. So for me, for my pick, top four, Arsenal. I'm not doing it in any particular order right now. Then I feel Liverpool definitely they've solidified their hold on that top four. I don't see them dropping off that top four. Then I believe what's it called? Manchester City could actually sneak in. They could actually sneak in because right now we have a lot of teams in the top four. The current teams in the top four, they are basically making it easy, especially when we look at the second, sorry, not the second, the third and fourth position. Of course, those two positions are still open because, like I said, I believe Liverpool and Arsenal they are solidified in that top four. So just remaining two spots for the rest of the teams to fight for. So I believe Manchester City would sneak in. Then for me, I would also be going with Chelsea, and I will not be going basically with necessarily fit. I will be going on the condition that we strengthen our squad this January window. We find a way to get at least a winger or a striker to complement Jackson. If we can get those two guys and those two what's it called additions into the Chelsea squad, then I feel yes, top four is very very possible. We are going to get top four. But if we end this January transfer window without reinforcement, without getting anything, then I think Newcastle are going to get into it. I think Newcastle are going to get into it. For me, I believe Forest will drop. I believe Forest will drop out of that top four eventually. So I believe the fourth position is between Chelsea and Newcastle. And Chelsea could solidify their grip on it if they outright in this transfer window. But if they don't, I don't see Chelsea finishing in that top four. If we don't make any additions. So for me, that's my take. Now, Erons, your top four. let's say do you have anybody that you feel could drop off in your top four? Because you mentioned Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal, and Newcastle. So do you feel any of those four guys, maybe one of them could slip up?
Yeah, the ones who could slip up, I think, could be Newcastle, right? Because yeah, we all know there's always this chance of teams like that when they have this long run of form. There's like the chance for them to always like maybe slightly lose focus or have an injury, like Richard mentioned, injury of someone like Isak would be a big blow to them because I there's Wilson will not be able to fill in that role, and I think the most likely option they'll want to play at centre forward is Gordon, and that hasn't really worked out for them. When they tried it at the early part of the season, they lost a lot of games, lost a lot of points when they did that. So if if Newcastle slip up, I think the people who we are kind of looking over right now is Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest has the chance to actually sneak into top four, and I would love if they do that ahead of Chelsea. Right, that would be really amazing. Right. So why I feel Nottingham Forest could do this is because they have been really good in their big fixtures, like against Liverpool. Liverpool just took away 2 points from them this season. They were unbeaten to Liverpool this season, and they have like very good-looking fixtures for the rest of the season coming up for them. I won't expect them to beat teams like Manchester United, for example. We know how bad Manchester United has been, despite their fluke of a 3-1 win over Southampton. So we know that there's a lot that could happen. Looking at the fixtures of Nottingham Forest, I feel like there's a chance of them actually sneaking into top four if Newcastle decides to slip off top four right now.
All right. So for Aaron's, it says if he were to pick a team out of his initial top four, the team that would slip up, Newcastle. Richard, what about you? Pick one team from your top four pick. Who do you think would slip up?
For my pick, it's definitely going to be Chelsea. Like I said, Arsenal, like we all said, Arsenal, they have been there come season. So the experience is already there for them. City already have this experience of having a stronger end to the season. Liverpool, who are going to, I believe they are going to be champions. So Chelsea are the ones that I believe are going to slip up. Uh, Based on too much inconsistency around Chelsea right now, even with the players that are there, you are not even sure the players that are going to be there come February 2nd. So how can you tell how they are going to perform or they are not going to perform? So that's where I feel we have that inconsistency. So much thing around Chelsea right now. We won't really know what to expect from Chelsea until the transfer window ends. See where they have added, which players have left, and then also I don't think Forest might make top four. Also, I don't think they have enough for top four, but I think they would go to Europe. They have a strong squad for that because defensively they have been very sound. So I think that defense will take them to Europe. And then also Newcastle, like I said, I just feel fatigue will come for Newcastle at the end of the day. I think for like 2 seasons now it has happened to them. So Newcastle might make top four ahead of Chelsea if they do slip up and if they are able to keep their players fit and Eddie Howe can come up with sort of a plan to keep them on that level throughout the season.
Yeah, well, so you've heard from Richard. Says from his top four pick, if there is a team that will slip up, is counting on Chelsea. And for Obaze, I think Obaze already opened it up. It feels like but let's hear from you because I think your pick were Liverpool, Manchester City, Arsenal, and anybody. That was the word you used.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like that number four spot is still up for grabs. Then, if I would, from my existing three, if I would say anyone could slip up, I would hope it's Arsenal, and that's purely off of hate. That's purely off of hate because I really don't like the team. I don't like the fans, so I hope that they fall off if anyone is going to fall off. And it's quite ironic you Chelsea fans are saying you don't know where your team is going to end because you don't know you have so much players. This that. And that's coming from a team that spent over 1 billion in building their squad. I think it's quite ironic, but what do I know? But anyway, yeah. Off of hate, I feel like I hope that Arsenal falls off. So yeah, that's my own opinion.
You can come for us, throw Chelsea all you want. We spent 1 billion. What have you? No problem. Don't worry. We will be back soon. Just be patient. Anyway, for me, if I were to pick a team that will slip up, I think Manchester City. Yeah, we are all. I feel like we are all banking on Manchester City to do something incredible, and yes, they have the capability of doing it. But if I were to pick, because my picks were Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, and either Chelsea or Newcastle. I feel that Chelsea and Newcastle they are going to be the ones what is it called doing a tussle for that number 4 position. They're not even going to fight for number 3. Is that number 4 position that those two teams will be fighting for? Then if I were to pick a team that would actually slip up, I think Manchester City can actually slip up and end the season finishing outside of top 4. Now, why I say this is because yes, they've done some addition and all that, but then again, the level of football has basically, can we use the word increase? Yeah, we can use the word increase, but I really don't think it's increased. And I think I would have a separate episode to discuss that. But I feel like the level of competition in the Premier League right now is almost like on the same level. Like you can expect a good performance from Newcastle, the same level of performance you expect from Manchester City. Like okay, Manchester City go 10 games unbeaten. You can expect that from Nottingham Forest too. I mean, just before Liverpool, Nottingham Forest they went I think about 8 games or so unbeaten. Even Chelsea, before we slumped, we went 5 games on a winning streak or so. Yeah, I think on a winning streak. So I feel like any team could go. So if I were to pick a team that would actually slip up, it's going to be Manchester City for me. And that's me just saying that from a place of the way the dynamics of the Premier League this season is just like anything can happen. All of every team they can do that they can do the same unbeaten run that we feel Manchester City could pull off. So well, thank you guys for coming to this far. If you've come this far, let us know your comments. Top 4 picks. Who do you think are, or what teams do you think are going to end in the top 4 of the EPL this season? What teams do you think will be going to the Champions League next season? And of course, we will be in the comment section. Thank you for coming.